In this video, we demonstrate how to receive stock into DecEzy using an Android device and a barcode scanner. As you may be aware, it has long been possible to use a normal USB barcode scanner to assist with the receipt of purchase orders into DecEzy. The only problem with this is that a computer may not be available where the purchase order is received. By using an Android device with a linked Bluetooth scanner, the scanning of purchase receipts becomes much more mobile. You are free to do the scanning wherever you like, so long as you are within Wi-Fi range. To do this, you will need two things. Firstly, an Android device. For this, I'll be using an old Android phone that I've upgraded from. Secondly, a Bluetooth barcode scanner. The Bluetooth scanner needs to be paired with the Bluetooth scanner needs to be paired with the Android device, so the Android device sees it as a keyboard. You'll also need the DecEzy app installed on the Android device. This can be easily installed from the Play Store. Firstly, we'll take a look at the purchase orders in DecEzy. We have a few purchase orders, but the one we'll be using for this demonstration is the last one. So I'll move to the last one. As you can see, this is just an ordinary purchase order with 4 lines on it. The first 3 lines have items on it which have barcodes set for them, while the last one does not have a barcode set up in DecEzy. In order to allow for purchases to be received from an Android device, we need to open the purchase receipt Android scanner window from the purchases window, or purchases menu, sorry. This window needs to be open for the Android device to get and to read and update purchase orders. When it opens, it displays an IP address. This is the IP address that needs to be entered into the Android device later. Now, we'll switch to the Android device. The mobile phone screen you can see is actually a real mobile phone I have in my hand here. I have some software that allows me to mirror its screen on my computer so that you can see what's happening in both DecEzy and the Android device. So we'll start off by opening the DecEzy app. We then select purchase receipt. We will first, when we open this, we'll be prompted to enter the IP address of the computer we want to connect to. That's the address displayed on the window in DecEzy. Once that is entered, here it's entered the IP address from the last time I used it, we can click on OK. Now we can see a list of the purchase orders in DecEzy. Here we need to select which purchase order we are receiving the stock for. As I said earlier, we're receiving for the last order, order number 7. So I'll select that by clicking on it. The purchase order opens up in the Android device, showing the details of all the outstanding lines, including the quantity outstanding. From here, it's a simple matter of scanning the items we're receiving. I'll scan the first item's barcode. You'll notice a few things have happened in the Android device. Firstly, the scanned line is highlighted, so we know exactly which line was scanned. The scanned quantity was incremented by 1, and a message appeared at the bottom telling us the scan was successful. I'll scan the barcode again, indicating we are receiving 2 of this item. Next, I'll scan a barcode for the next line. This time, I'm going to do an overscan. That is, I'm going to scan 3 units when there are only 2 units outstanding on the purchase order. As you can see, a dialog box has appeared telling us there's been an overscan and asking us what we want to do. If we select reject, the overscan is rejected. That is, only the quantity on the purchase order will be received. We'll need to deal with the extra item outside of DecEzy. I'll do this now. You can see the scan quantity did not increase, and a message appears telling us that the overscan was rejected. Now I'll do an overscan again, only this time I'll accept it. You can see that the scan quantity has now been increased to 3, which is greater than the outstanding quantity, and a message appears telling us that an overscan was accepted. Next, we're going to do an underscan, where we scan less than the outstanding quantity. You can see that the scan quantity is 1, while the outstanding quantity is 2. We'll leave that for now. Next, we'll see what happens when we scan a barcode for an item that doesn't have a barcode set up in DecEzy yet. The last item in this purchase order, the apron, doesn't have a barcode set up in DecEzy. So let's see what happens when we scan a barcode for it. It gives us a message telling us the barcode was not recognized and asks us which it refers to. Or we can select reject if we think we scanned the wrong thing. We'll select the last item, the apron. And as you can see, it updates the receipt, the receipt as appropriate. Now we'll scan it again. This time it does not prompt us to select an item, as it has remembered which item this barcode goes with. Now we have finished scanning all the items in the receipt. At the moment, the scan details are only in this device. DecEzy has not been updated yet. There are 2 options for updating DecEzy. The Update PO button, which will update the quantity to receive values in the purchase order in DecEzy, but won't post it. This can be used if you wish to further update the purchase order before posting. You may do this if some barcodes are not scanned and you need to manually update the quantity to receive in DecEzy before posting. The Post Receipt button will do the same as the Update PO button, but in addition, it will post and print the receipt automatically in DecEzy. This is what we want to do today. So I'm going to select Post Receipt. It gives us a confirmation dialog, and I select yes. Okay, and the purchase order is automatically received for all the quantities scanned, and the report is printed. Now my default printer is a virtual printer, and this allows me to see how the report will appear on the screen rather than in the printer. So I'm just going to okay, and we can see the receipt is as we would expect it to be. And this concludes our tutorial on using an Android device and scanner to receive purchase orders into DecEzy. Thanks for watching.